Mark Rogers TV and last word on sports on Alabama and LSU. Ole Miss gave them the gift, and then Alabama went out and earned the Western Division. Yes, there's a little bit more work to do, but I think Alabama took care of business and proved to be the best team in the SEC and maybe more, defeating LSU in this one. Final score of 30-16. So, great Alabama football is built on two foundational elements. Run the ball, stop the run. Alabama faced the best running back in college football, Leonard Fournette. They didn't just stop him. They bloodied him, battered him, beat him, stopped him dead cold. Unbelievable. Leonard Fournette with 15 carries for 13 yards to start the game. And wow, he then exploded for 18 yards on 4 carries. Finished with 19 carries for 31 yards. So therefore, despite the exploits of Derrick Henry in his own right, and we'll get to him in just a second, the key to the game was stopping Leonard Fournette and forcing Brandon Harris to beat Alabama. And that's not going to happen. So let's credit the guys up front for Alabama. A'Shawn Robinson, Jerron Reed, Jonathan Allen, Darren Lake, Dylan Lee, who had the huge interception, maybe the biggest play of the game with Alabama just leading 13-10, a very competitive first half. Then Dylan Lee stepped in front of the pass on the right sideline, picked it off, set up Derrick Henry and company at the 28, and Alabama broke out to a 2-score lead at 20-10. So that broke LSU's back, not against a lesser team, but considering Alabama's strength and its ability and talent, they weren't going to give up a 2-score lead. So even though it was early third quarter, that pretty much did in LSU when you really looked at who was dominating the line of scrimmage. Again, Fournette could not find any running room. He was doing everything he could just to escape losses in the backfield. So with all the credit we gave Leonard Fournette in gaining 1,000 yards in his first 5 games and going well beyond that against very fine football teams, you got to do it with the offensive line. The offensive line play has to be there. So for as much as we credited Fournette with gaining all that yardage, credit the LSU offensive line for giving Leonard Fournette games in which he was being met 7, 8, 10 yards downfield, and he took advantage. He's a great, great back. He is not an unbelievable back because you cannot break 4 and 5 tackles every play. It just cannot be done. And Alabama's front 7 completely obliterated the LSU running attack. So it fell to Brandon Harris, who made the one great throw. I thought he threw the ball well. Guys were covered. Even 2 of the best wide receivers in the SEC in Trayvon Terrell and in Malachi Dupree. He hit the one up top for the touchdown to Terrell to make it a 10-10 game. LSU at that point had gone down actually 10-0, and he got LSU on the scoreboard. They came back with a field goal drive, and LSU at that point moved the ball best in the second quarter in tying the game at 10-10. All right, let's flip it over to the Alabama offense. Jay Coker did his job. I'm impressed with this kid. The numbers are not going to be great. He delivers the ball. A lot of throws out to the flat, a lot of underneath screens to Kenyon Drake and Calvin Ridley, but he gets rid of the football. It's on time. He makes the right decisions. He doesn't make mistakes like the Jay Coker we heard about competing for the Florida State job and also against Blake Sims last year, and he's doing the job that they need for this football team. When you've got the front 7 on defense and the total defensive package that Alabama has, and you have one of the best running backs, and then you've got the complementary players like the Calvin Ridleys and the Ardarius Stewarts, not to mention Drake and Henry, you don't need to be a dynamic quarterback. They don't need Trevon Boykin. They need Jacob Coker doing what Jacob Coker does best, delivering the ball on time, finding the right guy, and mostly just a one-read, slip screen,